Okay, testing. Oh, awesome. We're live. Hello. This is day 5. We are still cloning planner.now.sh. That is kind of getting old, to be honest. And I know you're hearing the strain in my voice. But this is where you have to embrace the suck, as they say in Jarhead, one of the movies I like. So let's press on. And today we're going to cover two of the smaller features. One is Firebase Authentication, and then the other is the calendar feature if we have time, but we probably will have time. The authentication feature is this part where you just click and then you authenticate with like one of your emails, and then you have a personalized session for storing your stuff that it syncs across browsers, and it's all just nice and tidy for you. So that's a very nice feature to have, and we will try to do that. Possible. Yeah, let's get started. So the best way to get started doing that is looking through the docs. You're going to want authentication for the web, and you want to know how to get started. This essentially tells you how to do authentication with the email and password thing. But actually, it's actually easier to get started with the Google authentication, because obviously Firebase is owned by Google, and the integration is pretty tight. So yeah, okay. So let's go over to our console. I'm already on the authentication page. Sign in method, and I'm gonna call for Google, and I'll go Firebug Planner. I don't think anyone's gonna name it that. Whoop, Google's enabled. It was that easy. Now what do? We have to handle in the sign-in flow with the Firebase SDK. Okay. So if we go over here, and just, I'm pulling in. So we did a patch episode to basically patch up the things that I never got time to patch up because it was kind of dragging too long, and I didn't want to lose that attention span to go over minor details in terms of like look and feel and how the keyboard works. So now, for example, if you click here and type stuff, and you click and you type things in, right? And then if you want to delete them, you can actually hit delete, and that works. And delete here, and that still works. So all that I figured out minor stuff to do with keys like that. So if you're going to take a look, you can go ahead and do that, or you can just clone from my master branch or the day 4.5 branch if you're seeing this from the future. Okay, so we need to figure out how to integrate this piece of code off Google Provider, and I mean the area I immediately think of when I think about that is in the app area, where I have this stuff, where I already have required Firebase, right? So, oops, this is what I want. And I don't care about the scope. I don't care about the language. I don't care about anything else. Then I just need this. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, okay, all I need to do is like initiate over here, but then I just need to I need to call firebase.auth sign in with popup. Okay, so let's look at Firebase app. How do I do this? I think the way I do this is I do another provider, another context API, essentially. So the same way that we did our date context, we're going to do the auth module inside here, we'll do that. And we'll say auth provider since current user, which will initiate as null. So notice like this is completely unrehearsed, but like I'm just trying to reason out what I would do. And then login user, we'll have a login event. It should be possible to log out, but there's actually no functionality built in here to log out. So we'll just do login, because once you can log in, you can log out yourself. And over here, we're going to want something like this. So we'll have Firebase. This will pull from props, so this props.firebase. And we'll get a provider as well. So let me just expand the screen. So we're going to take the provider that we declare over here and pass it in to auth provider. So let's import that while we're at it. Auth. So then we'll pass it into auth provider. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. And Firebase equals Firebase. This React syntax may change in future because that is annoying to type again and again. So so now that we are given the provider, all right, let's do the destructuring. All right, and then this does the login. We get the user, and then we'll assign that to the current user, set state. All right, user. Yeah. So if we have a login error, then we'll just log something out. But honestly, I don't really have a strategy to deal with that. And then we'll pass out the state as well as the login user handler. Then we'll render whatever children it gets. So that's that. And auth provider gets auth context, which honestly we don't even use here. So I'm not even gonna call it. That's the beauty of using the context API. So now we're gonna head over to main, where we actually have it in the header. So over here where I have the timer, auth.js. Over here where I have the timer, I actually should put in it's like a little icon thing. I don't know what this is. Guess this is a div. All right. Well, we'll put the div there. So that's timer. What's timer? Timer is this thing. Okay. I'm going to make that into its own thing. So I'll call it timer.js. And then I'll put timer here. Default React. and then import timer. Good. Because then from over here, I can import auth context. Import auth context from /auth. And then provide auth context consumer. So then we'll have current user div. Too many lines already. I need to close this, and then I need to close this. Is that no? That doesn't satisfy the prettier gods. So once, okay, so let's display a button, right? So this is a div. We'll just have a wrapping div. So this is the real timer, and I'm just shoehorning in another, the user thing in here. Basically, because I don't want to restructure all the CSS when that's not the focus today. Log in. Right, let's have an on click. And instead of current user, I can ask for login user. Login user is actually a function, so I don't need to. It's not button, it's button. Okay, I think that's it. So if I go over to Planner, I have a login button. This will be hard to log out. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my private mode and then log in. And hopefully that works. Oh, that did not work. Let's see what the error is. On-click listener to be a function instead of got a value of object typed. What even is that? Okay, so I clearly don't know what's going on here, so I need to pull that out a little bit. I think I did everything fine. Don't need handle date change here anymore. I hope you're seeing what I am not seeing because I am confused. Oh, I'm an idiot. Let's try to log in again. Whoa. All right, it wants me to log in. Very good. And now, I kind of need a way to log out. If I just refresh this, is this gonna keep me logged in? No. Yeah, it is. Oh, I kind of need a way to log out. All right, I will do that extra bit. So logging out. Okay, so oh, by the way, he does the sign in with redirect, whereas I do sign in with pop up. So there are two different ways of signing in. So you may want to choose one over the other. I prefer pop up because you're not navigating away. Where is sign out? Okay, sign out is here. And log out user equals that. All right, and then I will set state with a null. That gives me a little bit more peace of mind that I can escape essentially. So this button essentially, I have to check for. Let me convert this to a multi-line thing. I have to check for whether there is a user, and if it's null, I'll provide a logged out experience, and then if it's not null, I'll provide a logged in experience. So let's say so what am I doing? Const auth section auth section equals user question mark. If it is a current user, then I will put a button for log out. So there's someone logged in. Then here, log out experience. So when someone logged in, you should let them log out. And when there's someone logged out, you should let them log in. So what property call on? User dot. Let's look at the getting started. I think it's user dot name, but I could be wrong. User dot display name. Okay, so it's something like hello. And I got that exactly wrong. Okay. All right. That was a little gnarly, but we got through it. Firebase is not defined. What do you mean Firebase is not defined? Auth.js, line 10. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so if I click login here, and then I log in with one of my accounts, it's gonna go away, and then it's gonna, oh, something happened. Cannot read property set state of undefined. That is so unfortunate, because this is not bound. Oh, that is so annoying. What if I did that? I'll do like that. Thank God for these error functions. All right, let's try again. Log in. Pick one. And nothing happens. Hmm. Missing here. I think I'm on the wrong web app. And I need to reload. I have a capital. Oh, I'm not even displaying my all section. See, I'm just not very smart sometimes. Okay. That's the capital L. All right. Well, this is not going to be very helpful because I'm not signed into any Google accounts here. Ooh. Log in. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Hey, I'm logged in. And if I log out, that's great. And then what if I log into my other account? That should show my full name. Hey, all right. So that's nice. But the CSS is screwed. How easily is it to screw that CSS? I mean, that's my fault, obviously. Display flex, and then I say I'm a flex of 1. So I need to say I'm a flex of 1. Somewhere along the line, I messed up with the timer. What is the timer? Timer is a div at the end of the day. Um, so app timer is what I'm missing. And the class name for this should be up top. There you go. Wasn't that bad. You just didn't shift it right. Okay, log in, log out experience. Pretty smooth, as you can tell. So this used to be a lot worse with Passport.js. And that's honestly, one of the main selling points of Firebase, apart from the database. So now we move on to the calendar. And this is a really nice calendar. It's a bunch of flex boxes, of course, because everything's a flex box. But I wanted to try and challenge us to use CSS Grid. So we really kind of don't need this because we have a working date picker, but if we get rid of it, then we can get rid of our dependency on Moment.js and all the good stuff that comes along with it. So we're going to try for the Flexbox, the calendar section, and if you're only here for the Firebase section, that was about it. So this is a React portion now. So we're going to go into that. All right, cool. Calendar. So it's a div and then a bunch of divs. The divs have thingy, and then he uses some sort of CSS to append stuff. I wonder why that is. I don't know. But you notice how he uses href, and that's something I really messed up on in terms of the architecture of this app. This whole app is using React Router to coordinate the switching between dates, whereas I use something at the top, which is current date, to switch between dates. I think that this is a smart way because you can press back and forth and go back between particular dates, but I never planned for that. So for the duration of this at least this attempt at cloning things, I will not be doing React Router, but I may have to revisit this whole thing and redo the clone just to get this right. This is obviously an app done by a guy who made React Router, so obviously he knows this thing in and out. Okay, so we're gonna do this grid, and we'll do our best. One other thing to note is that the selected piece is always on the 5th row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 weeks are generated, and then a bunch of other weeks are displayed. I have to decide when the start of the week is, and I did peek a little bit at at the at the source of that of the planner, and he actually uses date FNS, which has a start of the week um, helper. So this is probably a really good thing to use. So I'm gonna go ahead and install date FNS just to avoid us from having to do the math ourselves, because that's not very important. Okay, so and I'm gonna have it in here where it's gonna be a calendar.js. Oh, I already have a calendar.js. Okay, and that's like my date picker. I'll have a calendar2.js and just develop it alongside. Right. And then this is a div. Blah. It has a bunch of other divs. I'm also going to replace this with a multi-line because I'm going to do some calculation in here. Return. All right, I screwed up something. All right, so basically calculate start of the week from current date, and then calculate 4 weeks, well, 5 weeks before, and then calculate however many days. So this doesn't scroll, but I bet you there's more calculated here. I mean, there's just this doesn't scroll, but I'm sure there's more off screen which we can't see. So look at all this. Look at all this. These guys they can't see. So let's make this really small. Maybe see the end. We cannot see the end. So it just goes until it's off screen, right? So we can do conservatively, I don't know, 20, and that'll be fine. So calculate 20 weeks after. And this will be continually recalculated every time there's a new current date. So we have start of week. Where's current date? So we need the current date, which is and we need the start of week. Hello. Oh, wow. I just shut off my Wi-Fi halfway through a screencast. So then we do this start of week. Okay, and then we need 4 days, well, 4 weeks. So week, then we need start week. And I'm gonna just skip on the options right now. I don't know if it's 504. I think it's, so let's change my own instructions. Then we need to add the number of weeks. So it's like add weeks. Okay. It's all pretty. You'll know it's direct imports, so I don't import the whole library. Like yeah, and then now I get to do the fun bit, which is generate all dates. So is there like a range? Okay. Look at that. That is easy. This may be my new favorite library. So each day, from start date to end date, I will dates equals each day from start book to end book, and a step of one, obviously. So for all dates, I am going to say dot map, and I'll have a date. I don't actually. I'm just very, very desperate for dates. And state value, hopefully I can just say date dot a, and have that be that. MDN date day. Need to know day of the month. Get day. Okay. Get day. All right. I hope that's it. But I can't really be sure until I try. So calendar is used in main.js. And if I import calendar 2 and use it down here, happens to my app. Unexpected token. Prettier, you failed me. Date is not defined, end week is not defined. What do you mean date is not defined? Okay, there you go. Current date. And week is not defined. Data get day is not a function. Of course, because it's a small d. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, get day is not. Okay, what do I want? I want get dates, don't I? That is so annoying. Okay. Well, I mean, these functions, and as a plus, they already don't scroll, so that's good. So all I need to do is have this div be styled. You know what? Can I just style it in line? I'm gonna try. Okay, I don't like it. I want to separate my concern. I know. Right? It just looks better. It looks better. Um, yeah. Well, clearly that's not it. Okay, I need to import things. I am just really me every single time, and I don't learn. Just do not learn. All right, go ahead, import the CSS. Oh, you're on fire. That's the good debugging. Look at Chrome trying to keep up with Firefox. Good for you. So we need to left pad. Need to left pad today. Left pad. The string. Oh God. Pad left. Is that the pad left? JavaScript pad left. At start. Why can't you just? I mean, everyone knows it's left pad. All right. What if I do this? What happens to me? You gonna yell at me? Nah. What's the best way to coerce this thing? I'm just gonna be lazy. There we go. That'll do it. Let's start. Somehow. Oh, I need to pad start with a 0. Of course. All right. That's a little bit closer. Now we do. Is that 11th of March? Okay, let's look at what is today. It's the 9th of April. So this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good. Good. Very close. All right. We have to have the active square. Well, are all these squares? So these are very nice squares. Why can't I have squares like that? How do you get squares like that? There's all these guys. I don't want to know what they do. I just want to copy it. Bend me down, easy to pretend. I don't know if that did anything at all. Oh, I didn't save it. Okay, a little better. Then the red one. Just has a color thing. Whatever. I'm just gonna call it active. So if your date so this is a whatever template literal, and then all right. I was gonna do everything in one line, but I feel like that's hard to follow along. So I will try not to be obtuse. Const is active class equals if the date triple equals the current date and active. Okay. Tell me that works. Everything's just false. That's not right. Okay, so I think I need a to date here. Yep. Yeah, I need a to date. Nope, that wasn't it. Okay, well, I am going to have to console because that's how we roll. So we should see if they have the same date. Oh, you know what? One of them's a date time and the other thing's a date. Okay, well, card date dot to date. JavaScript date time to date. It's going to be the ISO string thing. I know. All right. ISO string. Oh, ISO string. No, ISO string. This is where you pull things out into a common if you cared enough. Oh, beautiful. It's a little small for its square, but it's good enough for me. Okay, so let's look at these dots. These are very interesting dots. That indicates an integration with, oh, that's it? Little red dot. That indicates an integration with Firebase and then our data. So first of all, I'm going to connect things here. And then down here. It's purely a passive connector. So there's that. It's not the best place to copy. I want this. I want all the data. Give me all the data. I want this guy. I want this guy. Oh, I don't want this guy. I just want one thing. There's this guy. I probably don't need, but whatever. Okay. This is technically colliding, but I don't think it actually matters, and we'll fix it if it does. So now that I have as a prop coming in, I have more power. Cons to-dos props. Now, if there is a to-dos, so how are the to-dos organized? I think you're so cute. I think you're so sweet. Another thing than you were to me. Okay, so I would have to parse through every single one of them to figure out if there's a match. I do not think that's the best way of doing this query, but it'll do for now. And there are better ways to do queries where you do like a one-off query, and that may be a better way. But realistically, the data is never going to be so much that the computational expense is actually an issue for us. So if you want to do a one-off query, you just do a .get. But we don't do that in our binding because we just have a reactive binding. So that's what's going on in there. Okay. Well, yeah, we're just going to manually filter. And we'll do an early return if a date is matched, right? So So let's have a pure function that says function is state in to-dos, and I'll have to-dos and a date. And what this does is it goes through all the to-dos. Array.sum, right, is a relatively new feature, so I need to double check my own logic. Array, let's have 1, 2, 3, 4, dot sum 3. Array dot contains. Oh, array dot includes. That's got to be it. Okay, so it's array dot includes, and that's kind of what I need. I need some though because I need to go inside the object. So Java.sum I think takes a function. There we go. So we do this. We do the function. All right. That's enough investigating. Let's actually do some work. Compare dates. Huh. It's actually pretty concise if you actually break it down. So we have to-dos.sum to do compare dates to do. I probably need to go to do date. And then these two are ISO strings. Right? So to use this, I go const dot class. I don't have a better word for it. I'm just going to call it a dot class. And it's stayed in to-dos function with the to-dos. And then the date that we are given, or current date. Well, date. We don't care about the current date. And dotted. Why, you don't like it? Call it something else. And this guy is going to have a sun. Actually, I can't do that because it's an actual div that's it's contained in here. So this is an A tag, and then there's a number, and then there's a div. So that's tricky. So it's just has dot. If it has a dot, then we'll render the dot. And call that what we think it is. And let's give the CSS for the dot. It's a nice little circle. All right, how do you look? Oh, calendar 2 clashing, of course. So I can just make this a functional component because I don't really care about any of this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because I can. I think I just forgot to extract something. And what did I need to extract to-dos from props. All right. There we go. And then because JavaScript parsing is painful, you gotta put parentheses around it. Oh, array.sum is not defined. So to-dos.sum. So I'm gonna put in, because you always have to remember when the thing goes first. Oh, look at that little dot. All right, I can't click on this, but if I went to like the 11 to do, blah, and then I went back to the 9th, that here. Okay, so I have a slight off by one thing going on. So let's kind of sort that out. I have no idea. All right, today is April 9th. But then I'm highlighting the thing on the 10th. That makes no sense to me. I might need to bring back the debugging. Okay, let's figure out what's why this thing is active the way it is. So April 9th. Is this a GMT thing? I'm going to be very annoyed. Comparison, like equality. Same day. Oh, thank God. Date FNS. What do I do without you? So instead of compare dates, I have is same day, which is probably a better function. I swap that out to get a better result. Oh, today is 9th. All right. Well, this is a terrible waste of time, and this is much better. Okay, there we go. So now if I go on to the 12th and make a item, and then I go back to the 9th, that is going to give me something on the 12th. Okay, very good. Now, I think I'm almost done. I maybe have some CSS issues. I don't know. I don't know how much. Oh, I want to put the months on. Okay, months on. So how do you get that April up there? Content April. You see that? Um, okay. All right. Let's see. Let's start of month is start. Oh, if I get the first date, if I get like the day, get day. No, not get day. I need to get date. Day of the month. If I get the day of the month, well, I don't need this date FNS to help me do that. I can just get date. And if I get the day of the month, then I'll have a special styling thing. All right, let's just practice this, right? Because I'm not this. Um, all right, this will put everything. This will put content April on everything, but it doesn't. To my absolute surprise. Okay, is there a warning? All right, I don't need this debugging thing. React style content. Oh, I can't target pseudo classes, pseudo elements. All right, well, maybe I don't have to. So let's put some logic here. If date.getDate is equal to 1 and date dot triple and get month shows up here. I may need to wrap this in some sort of styling, but let's go for it. So yeah, look, 301. That's March, I guess. That's April. Date to date string. All right, let's give me some good examples here. Nope. Nope. All right. You can't give me the month in English? Hmm. Huh. You can't give me a month in English. Wow. Common helpers. Format. There we go. All right. Look at all these functions. All right. Format the date. And when I format, I will give it triple M. And then I'll give it a span. I will also not apply the span to the whole thing. That's silly. And I'll put that in quotes. And class name calendar. And I'll put the class name down in here. And bada bing, bada boom. Copy that. I don't know if this is right, but I'm gonna try it. Nope, I screwed this one JSX. Let me down, easy come. What if I screwed up? Oh, I didn't close it. I should probably make these different colors. Ooh, very close. Very close. All right. That means I just need to copy over that EM that I was trying to leave out because I thought it wasn't necessary. Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Can I center this a little bit more? It is centered. It's just too big. No, it's just that this guy is too far. It's like left aligned. Huh. I don't care enough. All right. So that's our the last bit is to make them reactive. So when I click it, I set the date. So where's the calendar? Where's the current date? Handle date change. There we go. So I need this guy from context. Oh, I already have it here. What do you know? So when I go on click, I want to see the very best, like no one else ever was. Catch them is my real test. Train them is my cause. I will travel across the land. Doo-doo-doo. Searching far and wide. All right, so this is the big moment where I rip out moment and switch everything over. So wish me luck. Because when I set this no longer becomes a date. It becomes a moment date. It becomes it's just a date. And that along with that, everything has to change, right? I can rip this out. I can rip this out. Rip this out. And then calendar 2. I can rip this out. This out. And then everything where I called to date, right? Dot to date. I need to make sure I update that because now everything is to date. See if it works. It's not a function. All right. Okay. All right. I'm getting there. All right. Routine JS 145. What do you know? 2 other errors though. Oh, all gone. Okay. Now let's click here. Click here. Awesome. So we have a working calendar, and that is a good thing. I want to put the pointer, I want to set the pointer right because that's an important part of UI, right? Like just making sure that you're what I want to put the pointer over. I want to put the pointer over calendar cell. And cursor pointer. So at least I have this nice little glove thing. Okay, cool. So that's it. Firebase authentication and calendar feature. Don't forget to subscribe, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. All right, cool. See ya.